LambdaTest provides a unified experience when it comes to your software testing needs, from planning to authoring of your test cases to blazing fast execution and analysis of your tests. Today, we'll be focusing on HyperExecute, the execution part of your test cases. But first, let us quickly understand the challenges faced by enterprise in software testing, ranging from complex test environments to the hurdles of enterprise security, running the test cases at scale, to figuring out how to orchestrate the test cases efficiently. These have been the four major buckets of challenges that we have heard from our customers. If you look into how the tests are executed, teams have setups ranging from CI nodes to running test cases on VDIs, legacy CVT providers, sometimes even having in-house grids, or some of their test cases running on public cloud. But the problem doesn't end there. You will be amazed to know that only 23% of the bandwidth of a testing team is actually spent on authoring, planning the test cases. Whereas a staggering 70% time is spent in mundane, tedious, and repetitive operations. If we dig deeper into this, we find out that there are things like fixing broken test cases, executing and monitoring your test cases, triaging, debugging the failed test cases, optimizations, and analysis take a lot of the hard work and time of the testing teams. And this problem is intentionally getting aggravated by GenAI, where teams are now shipping chunks of codes along with lots and lots of test cases. That is where we have reimagined the test execution for enterprise with LambdaTest's HyperExecute. HyperExecute is a unified test orchestration cloud. No matter what testing framework you're using, what kind of test cases you want to run, or what application is under test, you can run all of your test cases on a single platform. And the best part, the platform can be deployed on any cloud of your choice. We have 120 plus integrations with CI/CD tools and whatnot. Over and above the infrastructure, we also provide customized features so that you get the best of test execution. With inbuilt features like test auto split, optimizing your job executions, automatic test retries, to muting of test cases which are consistently failing, it gives a huge boost to your software testing teams. Over and above that, we bring in the visual regression testing, accessibility testing, and even performance testing all in one platform. But that's not it. We provide full control of test execution to the software testing teams, where they can provide custom pre and post steps that they want to run before and after test execution. They can decide the different ways of splitting their test cases over multiple machines. They can define how many times they want to retry their test cases. They can schedule test executions, automatically trigger the test executions based on Git hooks, reordering of test cases for faster feedback, so that they don't have to spend time on anything else apart from authoring the test cases. If we talk about debugging and detecting what went wrong in your test cases, the platform automatically categorizes the test failures, gives you visibility on your flaky test cases, and observability on your test cases and how they have been behaving. We have GPT-powered root cause analysis, which helps you detect and fix test failures faster. With the smart analytics and error forecasting, you can figure out the flakiness in your test cases. With inbuilt auto healing features, your test cases heal whenever there is a failure while execution so that you don't have to run the whole test suite again. Now let us quickly jump on and see the platform in action. As you can see here, multiple of my team members have been executing different sets of test cases all on the same platform. We have team members running the test cases on Linux, Windows, some running Playwright test cases, whereas some are running Selenium based test cases. Now let us quickly deep dive into one of the test executions. All the executions that happen on HyperExecute are driven by a HyperExecute YAML file, which is essentially the way you control how you want to execute your test cases. There are multiple parameters that you can utilize to configure how you want your test cases to be executed. You can define the number of parallels you want to run your test cases on, the number of times you want to retry your failed test cases, define custom runtime environments, and whatnot. Looking on the left side, you will notice that based on the concurrency that was given, my test cases were automatically split for faster execution. Over here, the platform is also telling me that I can save up to 2 minutes if I use a higher concurrency. Finding such information, if you're used to normal Jenkins based execution, is very difficult. It'll take a lot of time in analyzing your test runs to figure out what is the best possible number of Jenkins nodes for your executions. If you notice the pre-steps, the platform has its own caching mechanism where it uses cache from your previous executions to make your consecutive executions faster and better. You can define custom pre-steps, install dependencies as you like, or set up custom runtime environments. Digging deep into the test cases, all the scenarios that I have executed can be seen here. If I want to dig one step deeper, I can go into my test case session as well. If you notice here, because this particular test case had failed, the platform automatically categorized my test failures, and I can see all the details within a click of a button. Over here, the platform gives me the detailed of the error, the related code snippet, and the stack trace as well. Along with that, if I want to generate the root cause of this test failure, I can do that as well. The root cause, when generated, provides you a simple RCA on why this particular error happened, some steps of remediation for your test case, and some additional suggestions on how you can avoid these kinds of errors later. Similarly, if you have any custom post steps that you want to run after your execution finishes, such as generating of some artifacts, generating some sorts of screenshots, or pushing all of the input data points into Azure or S3, you can do that in the post steps. Along with that, if you have a requirement of running some background services, for instance, in this case, we have a npx static server. You can do that as well within the platform. No need to set up background services outside of your testing environments. As we talked about auto healing functionality of the platform keeps a track on how your test cases have been behaving and running. And if you have ran your test cases with auto heal true, the platform would automatically try to heal the failed step of a test case whenever it occurs. As you can see over here, the original selector of this particular step was username, but the test ran forward with the healed selector, which the platform found in runtime while this test execution cycle was ongoing. It comes in really handy because it saves a lot of time that otherwise would have been spent in rerunning the test cases to figure out what failed and then to fix it again. Over and above that, the platform has features such as fail fast mechanisms where you can configure if you want to fail the tests or the whole job whenever the platform encounters consistent failures in your test runs. In this case, if you see, because I had configured it to run in a fail fast mode, as soon as it encountered a failure, it aborted the next execution, cancelled the further aligned tests, and gave me a faster feedback of my failed test case. If you have test cases which are mobile test cases, the platform can help you orchestrate and parallelize those as well. You're not just limited to web based tests any longer. Over and above that, if we talk about analysis of your test cases, we have an inbuilt mechanism where you can create multiple dashboards totally customizable for your needs. We have more than 50 plus widgets to choose from, or you can utilize simply the pre-made dashboards that come with the platform. As you can see, you have multiple trends, information, and data points that you can utilize to make your consecutive test runs better and plan your next testing cycles even more efficiently. You can customize these dashboards, edit almost all the widgets, and share them with your team members. Talking about test flakiness, the platform, as it analyzes the tests automatically, gives you information on the test cases that have been showing flaky behavior. Going one step further, if you have long dashboards or want to just interact with our dashboards in a chat fashion, you can utilize our AI Copilot and simply ask it the questions that you want. And based on your queries, the platform would automatically utilize all the data available, giving you the pinpoint answers that you need. Talking about the artifacts and reports of your test executions, you don't have to go anywhere outside. You get your reports within the execution. Apart from the reports, you also get the artifacts that you might have configured with this particular test execution. HyperExecute provides a detailed report of your test execution along with the step by step details of each of your test runs. You can simply click here to see the further details of test or directly go to the video link of a particular execution. Going one step further, you can see all the commands, the logs, the network logs, metadata, and even configure your test runs for pixel to pixel comparisons and accessibility tests as well. You can also set up your projects on HyperExecute. You can set up your Tosca projects, custom projects, or even your load testing JMeter projects. In order to set up a project, you just give it a name and then provide the repo URL and access token for this particular project. Once you have done that, you can create multiple workflows to run the test executions as per your need basis. You can also set up scheduled runs once, later in time, or as per periodic intervals that you require. All of your executions will be available grouped under the same project so that you can manage and analyze your test runs better. From browser based testing, you can also do performance testing on HyperExecute by simply uploading your JMX files in a project. Once you do run a JMeter based performance test, you can view the test and analyze how your application was behaving under the load. You can deep dive into the timeline report, filter based on multiple regions, virtual users, and all other KPIs. Or deep dive into the request stats, analyze errors based on labels, response codes, and even dig deeper into the logs of the load generator machines. Within a click of a button, you can also see how was the CPU and memory utilization in your load generators. HyperExecute and LambdaTest are certified with ISO, SOC Type 2, GDPR, and multiple security compliances because we keep customers our priority.